Good morning students, welcome to class 12, that is electrochemistry topic 2 we are discussing here. So in the previous session we have discussed about the electrolysis of molten salts of compounds. In this session we will discuss about electrolysis of aqueous solutions. Electrolysis of aqueous solutions of some compounds. Electrolysis of aqueous solutions of some compounds. First one, see here, before going to discuss this, you should know some key points. Product of electrolysis mainly depends upon the nature of the material being electrolyzed. Mainly depends upon what is the main product of electrolysis. That product formation mainly depends on nature of the material being electrolyzed and the type of electrodes being used. So it depends on type of electrodes and nature of the material being electrolyzed. Nature of the material being electrolyzed. So this is key point. And next, see if the electrode is inert, suppose there are different types. Yesterday we have discussed inert electrodes. Means here if you take any inert electrodes, platinum, gold. So generally these are inert electrodes. That inert electrode doesn't participate in chemical reaction, so it won't involve in any chemical reaction, and it acts as a source for electrons. It acts as a source, only as a source for electrons, right? This is about inert electrodes. And suppose if the electrode is not inert, if it is reactive, the electrode is reactive, it participates in the electrode reaction. If the electrode is reactive, it participates in the electrode reaction. So thus the products of electrolysis may be different for reactive and inert electrodes. So if you use inert electrode, if any electrode is a reactive electrode, it interacts with the redox reaction, it participates in the cell reaction, and finally whatever the products that are obtained, they may differ when you take inert electrode as well as if you take reactive electrode. So we have to be careful with that. So product of electrolysis mainly depends on different oxidizing and reducing species present in the electrolytic cell. So what are the oxidizing species and what are the reducing species mainly present in the, so the product of electrolysis mainly depends on different oxidizing and reducing species. Different oxidizing and reducing species, okay, present in electrolytic cell. Present in electrolytic cell. So this is one thing, and it also depends on, product of electrolysis also depends on standard electrode potential. Standard electrode potential. So we will discuss deeply regarding standard electrode potentials in the next coming topic. So for the time being, products of electrolysis mainly depends on type of electrodes, nature of the material to be electrolyzed, inert electrodes and reactive electrodes. So if products will vary, it depends upon the type of electrode taken, and even it depends, product of electrolysis even depends on different oxidizing and reducing species present in the electrolytic cell, and it also depends upon the standard electrode potential. So it also depends on standard electrode potential. Now let us take some examples based on this. So already we have discussed electrolysis of aqueous NaCl. Yesterday itself we have discussed. So yesterday we have discussed molten NaCl. So first example I am taking electrolysis of not molten, aqueous NaCl. Aqueous NaCl, in brackets I am using inert electrodes. In brackets, just remember that I am using inert electrodes. Now, so if any electrode is not mentioned, you have to assume it as an inert electrode. If any reactive electrode is there, he will clearly mention in the question itself. So electrons of aqueous NaCl. So generally, students, NaCl, so it splits into Na plus plus Cl minus. So aqueous NaCl means compulsory water will be there. So here H plus and OH minus ions will come into the picture during ionization process, right? So here, what are the electrode reactions takes place here? What are the electrode reactions which we observe in this example? We are taking aqueous NaCl, that is the key point. So here inert electrode, here I can take platinum. If inert electrode is there, mostly we can take platinum electrode as an inert electrode. So they won't interact with this redox reactions, they won't interact with the electrolyte as well as the reactions. So generally here the thing is which cation gets deposited at cathode. So you already know at cathode what happens, students, reduction takes place at cathode. So now the competition arises, cation gets deposited at cathode. Here the competition takes place between Na plus and H plus ions. Two different ions are there. Which one will get deposited first? That point you have to remember. Which one will get deposited out of Na plus and H plus ions? I have given one order for you in the previous session, decreasing order of those discharge potentials. So H plus ions are discharged in preference to Na plus ions. H plus ions are preferred over Na plus ions. So what is the reason why H plus ions are discharged at cathode but we're not Na plus ions? So here the reason is discharge potential of H plus ion is lower than Na plus ion. You can see that order I have given. So if the discharge potential is less, which ion gets lower the discharge potential? Greater is the deposition at respect to electrode. Lower the discharge potential of the ion, greater is the deposition of that particular ion at electrode. So here out of Na plus and H plus ions, which one is the best one? H plus ions will come and deposit. 2H plus plus electron gives rise to H2. So hydrogen gas is liberated at cathode, whereas sodium ion, that equation will not happen. That will not happen. So hydrogen is liberated at cathode, and this reaction takes place. Why not this reaction? So you can guess this one, Na plus plus electron gives rise to Na. This reaction will not occur. What is the reason for that? Why this reaction will not occur? Exact reaction, if you take, you can take 2H2O liquid plus 2 electrons gives rise to hydrogen gas plus 2OH minus. This is the exact relation takes place at cathode. Aqueous medium is there, water is there. So there hydrogen gas is liberated at cathode, but sodium is not liberated at cathode. Why? Because for this reaction, if you take electrode potential, for this value, for this reaction, if you take, see here, electrode potential value is minus 0.83 volts. But for sodium, for this reaction, electrode potential value for this reaction, that is Na plus converts to Na, so it was found to be minus 2.71 volts. So here from this electrode potential data, that is reduction potential values here. So reduction potential value of Na plus Na, it is less than reduction potential value of this equation. So here sodium minus 2.71, here water there, that for that reaction, what is the electrode reduction potential value? Minus 0.83. So minus 2.71 is less than minus 0.83. So because of this reason, sodium, so the reason lies in the reduction potential values. So if the reduction potential value is less, so that won't get deposited. Here reduction potential value of sodium ion is less than water. So lower the reduction potential value. Suppose we have to compare those two values. So here sodium ion has got lower, here sodium ion has got lower reduction potential value, that is minus 2.71, that is low value. Even though magnitude is more, minus their sign. So which one is bigger value? Water, reduction potential of H2O slash H2, that reaction has got greater reduction potential value. That's why that will deposit at respect to cathode. So that is the reason. And the other reason is, instead of H plus, so here discharge potential of H plus ion is lower than Na plus ion. So ion which has got lower discharge potential value, that will deposit first. So in terms of two reasons I have given. Now what is the reaction that takes place at anode here? Here anode also there is a competition between Cl minus and OH minus. So here also there is a chance. Here anode means what happens at anode, students? Oxidation takes place at anode. So 2Cl minus aqueous gives rise to chlorine gas. So chlorine gas plus 2 electrons. So here the reduction potential you can take Cl minus to Cl2. So here the value is minus 1.36 volts. But there is a chance of other reaction also here. 2H2O liquid gives rise to O2 gas plus 4H plus aqueous plus 4 electrons. So for this reduction potential value, it was found to be minus 1.23 volts. So here if you take for this, chlorine gas is liberated at anode, and here OH minus ion, actually there is no chance for it. So these are the reduction potential values. Out of these two, actually chloride ions are out of Cl minus comma OH minus ions. Chloride ions are discharged at anode in preference to OH minus ions. What is the reason for that, students? Why chloride ions will undergo oxidation when compared with OH minus ions? Because discharge potential of chloride ion is less than OH minus ions. You can see that order. Discharge potential of chloride ion is less than OH minus ions. Two concepts you can apply here. So that's why this reaction is preferred. So this is very, very important, students. So at this inert electrode, we will get this one, students. So final conclusion of the day of this concept, that is, at cathode hydrogen gas is liberated and at anode chlorine gas is liberated. If you take aqueous sodium chloride having platinum electrode, at cathode, which is liberated at cathode hydrogen gas, at anode chlorine gas is liberated. That is the conclusion point. Suppose second one, you can take second example, example 2. Electrolysis of aqueous copper sulfate solution. Electrolysis of aqueous copper sulfate solution. So if you take electrolysis of aqueous copper sulfate solution, here you can take inert electrode like platinum, inert electrode in brackets. So what will happen if you take inert electrode here? So if you take inert electrode, what are the possible reactions? Aqueous copper sulfate means here, first of all, copper sulfate, it splits into Cu2 plus plus SO4 2 minus. Sulfate ions are produced. So at the same time, water, it splits into H plus plus OH minus ions. So here, actually, two ions are there. One is Cu2 plus ion and H plus ion. So which one gets deposited first? Which one at cathode? So out of H plus, and so here electrode, here reduction, discharge potential, we can say discharge potential of Cu2 plus less than H plus. Remember that point. So that's why you can say copper will deposit it. So at cathode, what happens, students? Reduction. takes place at cathode. Since the discharge potential of Cu2 plus is less than H plus, so here reduction takes place and copper gets deposited at cathode. So for this reaction, if we say reduction potential value for this copper is plus 0.34 volts. Now again two anions are there here. Competition takes place between these two, sulfate ion and OH minus ions. So which one is preferred first at anode? Generally at anode what happens, students? Oxidation takes place at anode. So here oxidation takes place at anode. 2H2O gives rise to O2 plus 4 electrons plus 4H plus. So here in this equation actually oxygen gas is liberated. So in other manner also we can write 4 OH minus ions you take gives rise to 2H2O plus 4 electrons plus oxygen gas. Any one equation you can write. So here the thing is the discharge potential of OH minus, what point you have to learn here is discharge potential of OH minus ion, potential of OH minus ion is less than sulfate ion. So that's why at cathode which one is liberated? At cathode copper is liberated. At anode, so if you observe this electrode potential value, here electrode potential value for this one is for this reaction, if you take electrode potential value, it was found to minus 1.23 volts. So discharge potential of OH minus ion is less than sulfate ion. That is one reason. At the same time you can see out of OH minus ion and sulfate ion, which one has got low discharge potential? OH minus ion. That's why this will undergo oxidation at anode. So which one gets deposited first means OH ion will run fast and finally it undergoes oxidation and it leads to the liberation of oxygen gas. So that is the reason. Okay students. So if you want to write the overall reaction, you can write the overall reaction 2H2O liquid plus 2Cu2 plus aqueous gives rise to 2Cu plus O2 plus 4H plus aqueous. If you want to write, you can write like that. So very, very important students, aqueous copper sulfate solution using platinum electrodes. So copper will be deposited at cathode and oxygen gas will be liberated at anode. So that is a key point students. Suppose if I change same reaction, next example, electrolysis of an aqueous solution, aqueous copper sulfate solution using, this time I am not using inert electrodes, copper electrodes I am using students. That is the key point. If I use copper electrodes, what you are going to observe? If I use platinum electrodes, you have seen. Suppose if I use copper electrodes instead of that. So let us see. Electrolysis of aqueous copper sulfate using copper electrodes. So here your same equations you can take. Copper sulfate, it splits into Cu2 plus sulfate ion, and even aqueous you are telling na H2O, it turns into H plus plus OH minus. So as previously you know, at cathode what happens at cathode? Reduction takes place at cathode. So reduction takes place at cathode. So Cu2 plus 2 electrons gives rise to Cu. Why this reaction happens? Because discharge potential of Cu2 plus, this is discharge potential. Discharge potential of Cu2 plus is less than H plus. Lower the discharge potential, the ion which possesses low discharge potential value, that will get deposited first. So I got it. Copper is deposited at cathode. So again at anode here anode 2 ions, sulfate and OH minus ion. But here what I am telling is, unlike electrolysis of copper sulfate using platinum electrodes, so no ions are liberated here. So suppose if I take copper anode, See what happens at anode. First of all, if I take copper anode here, what happens here? If I take copper as an anode, copper anode itself undergo oxidation to form Cu2 plus ions which go into the solution. So this is due to the reason that copper is more easily oxidized than, see here what happens, if instead of copper anode, if I take, that will interact. So what happens, this copper anode, it interacts and it turns into Cu2 plus 2 electrons. So here copper, it turns into Cu2 plus ions. So this is due to the reason that copper is more easily oxidized than, see here, what are the different ions? OH minus ions are there, other ion is sulfate ion is there. Previously there is a competition between OH minus and sulfate ion when inert electrode is taken. Instead of inert electrode, this time I am taking copper electrode. Copper is taken as anode. So this electrode will definitely interact with the medium. So copper turns into Cu2 plus. So here what happened? So the net result of electrolysis is that at cathode, from the solution, an equivalent amount of copper from anode dissolves into the solution to form Cu2 plus ions. So this is very important, students. See, actually, previous case, if you take, which one will liberated at anode? Generally, if you take OH minus and sulfate ions, what we discussed, oxygen gas is liberated because discharge potential of OH minus ion is less than sulfate ion. Simply oxygen gas is liberated at anode. That is the previous case when platinum is taken as an inert electrode. This time I am not taking platinum, same reaction, but instead of taking platinum electrode, I have taken copper electrode. So since I have taken copper electrode, this is a reactive electrode. Copper, it undergoes oxidation first. When compared with OH minus and sulfate ion, copper itself anode itself undergo oxidation and turns into Cu2 plus ion. So now what will happen here? If I use copper electrode here, so what are the chances of reactions here? So first chance I have written this one, and second chance here. So here electrode potential, it was found to be minus 0.34 volts. This is electrode potential. This is the best reaction happening. So remaining two reactions will not occur. Only this, instead of other reactions, only this reaction will take place. That is the feasible reaction. So students, one thing you have to remember, if you change the reactive electrode, if you take a reactive electrode instead of inert electrode, here OH minus and sulfate ions will not undergo oxidation. Copper itself undergo oxidation. Net result of electrolysis is that copper is deposited at cathode from the solution and an equivalent amount of copper from anode dissolves in the solution. An equivalent amount of copper from the anode dissolves into the solution to form Cu2 plus ions. So this principle of electrolysis is widely used in electroplating technique and in the purification of less reactive metals such as lead, copper, silver. So very important fundamental principle here. The principle of electrolysis, this principle is mainly used in electroplating technique and also in the purification of less reactive metals like lead, copper and silver. The impure metal is made anode. Whatever the impure metal is there, that is made anode, so that anode dissolves on passing electric current and the pure metal is deposited at cathode. So this is a very, very fundamental important principle used for the purification of less reactive metals. So copper is dissolved at anode and copper is deposited at cathode. So you have to remember that concentration of Cu2 plus ions in solution remains constant during electrolysis. From this experiment, concentration of Cu2 plus ion in solution remains constant during electrolysis. See, actually here cations gets deposited at cathode. So this unique technique is used in the refining of copper. The impure 95% copper is made anode and a thin sheet of small pure copper is made as cathode, and electrolysis is carried out. So the electrolyte is, what electrolyte you have taken? Aqueous copper sulfate. They will take acidified copper sulfate solution, we have to take it as electrolyte, and impurities fall in anode itself. We call that as anode mud. So already we got this technique in surface chemistry. In surface chemistry, we got this technique in the purification of gold, silver, copper. We use this technique. So this is very important, students. So have to remember this one. Very, very important. So that is the thing. Next example we can take. Electrolysis of aqueous NaCl. Previously we did aqueous NaCl by using inert electrodes. This time I am using mercury electrode, active electrode. So this is an active electrode. Just if I change the electrode, product of electrolysis will change. So previously electrolysis of aqueous NaCl using platinum electrode. Suppose if I change the electrode, instead of platinum if I take mercury, what happens? So at cathode, what reaction takes place at cathode? Reduction. So here what you can plan? If mercury is taken, here what happens if mercury is taken as reactive electrode here? When mercury is used as cathode, what happens? Sodium ions having low discharge potential than H plus ions. Sodium ions have lower discharge potential than H plus ions. So let us take what happened here. At cathode, what is the possible reaction? Na plus aqueous plus electron gives rise to Na. So this reaction, this is solid. So this reaction is feasible. This reaction is feasible reaction, because here in this case, in the previous case, discharge potential of H plus is lower than Na plus if you take platinum electrode. But if you take mercury electrode, what happens here? Discharge potential of Na plus becomes, that means here I am writing the point why this has happened. In this case, if you change the electrode, discharge potential of sodium is less than H plus ions. So because of this reason, sodium is deposited at cathode. Next, at anode what happens? So at anode, if you take here chloride ion, 2Cl minus gives rise to Cl2 plus 2 electrons. So this will be the feasible reaction. And when mercury electrodes are used instead of platinum, sodium ions gets deposited, which further reacts with mercury to form sodium amalgam. So here there is a chance here, whatever the sodium ions are generated, that sodium ions interacts with mercury electrode, and finally there is a chance of formation of amalgam, NaHg complex. This is called sodium amalgam. What we call this one, students? Sodium amalgam. We call it as sodium amalgam. So this is a case. So, and what point you have to remember is, whatever the Na plus ions and OH minus ions remain in the solution. They remain in the solution. So when evaporated yields, when this Na plus and OH minus ions, if you perform evaporation process, so they convert into NaOH crystals. They combine together and form NaOH crystals. So this is a case of electrolysis of aqueous NaCl solution using platinum electrode, not platinum, mercury electrode. This reactions takes place. So very important. Next example you can take electrolysis of aqueous sodium sulfate solution. Electrolysis of aqueous sodium sulfate solution, here using inert electrode, like platinum. They won't interact now. So aqueous Na2SO4, you take this one, so using platinum electrodes, if you take, actually you know Na2SO4, it splits into 2Na++, SO4 2 minus, and aqueous medium means water, splits into H++, OH minus. So here at anode, what happens at anode? At anode, 2H2O gives rise to O2 plus 4H plus. So which gas is liberated at anode? Oxygen. So at cathode, here what happens at cathode? 2H2O plus 2 electrons gives rise to H2 plus 2OH minus. So at cathode, hydrogen gas is liberated. So at anode, here if you observe these two reactions, at anode oxygen gas is liberated. So here out of OH minus ions and sulfate ions, OH minus ions has low discharge potential than, this is the other reason, discharge potential than sulfate ions. So that's why here at anode you are going to get oxygen gas liberated at anode. Next, at cathode, out of Na plus and H plus ions, H plus ions has lower discharge potential than Na plus. So that's why you are going to get hydrogen gas is liberated at anode. So these are the redox reactions involved here. Okay students, next example you can take electrolysis of so copper sulfate 2 conditions over, sodium chloride 2 conditions over, sodium sulfate completed. So electrolysis of silver nitrate you take, silver nitrate, here using active electrode, that is silver electrode. This time I am using silver electrode. So what happens if you use silver electrode here? What are the reactions that takes place if you use silver electrodes? So at cathode, what is the possible reaction? Ag plus plus electron gives rise to Ag. So Ag plus plus electron gives rise to Ag. This is the reaction takes place at cathode. So out of here, what is that silver nitrate na? So actually silver nitrate splits into Ag plus plus NO3 minus, and there is a water splits into H plus plus OH minus. Out of Ag plus and H plus, so Ag plus ion will deposit fast. So here at cathode this reaction takes place. So did you understand students? This is the possible reaction. Now what is the possible reaction at anode? At anode actually you are using, so here out of Ag plus and H plus, Ag plus ion has got lower discharge potential than H plus, has lower discharge potential. Here this is the case, this is not inert electrode. Order is given basing on inert electrode students. Here I am actually, if you follow the order, H plus ion has got lower discharge potential than Ag plus, but here it is not inert electrode, silver electrode I have taken. That's why Ag plus ion has lower discharge potential than H plus. That's why this is silver is deposited at cathode. And at anode, Actually NO3 minus ions and OH minus ions are there, but apart from that, at anode what I am taking? Silver anode. So first silver anode will interact instead of OH minus and NO3 minus ions. Here I am going to observe this type of reaction, that anode silver rod dissolves in that electrolyte and finally it turns into Ag plus electron. So this reaction will take place at anode. So here when aqueous silver nitrate is electrolyzed using silver electrode, silver is dissolved at anode and deposited at cathode in the solution. So deposited at cathode. So Ag plus ions in the solution remains constant during electrolysis. Overall Ag plus ion concentration in the solution remains constant. Why? Because here silver is dissolved at anode and deposited at cathode. So this method is used for the refining of silver. If you take impure form of silver is made anode and thin sheet of pure silver is taken as cathode, and electrolyte, if you have to take silver nitrate solution electrolyte, if it is subjected to electrolysis, what happens? All the impurities will be present at anode. The pure form of silver which is present in anode, that gets dissolved in silver nitrate and finally it gets deposited at cathode. So in this manner impurities fall down as anode mud. So this technique, electrolytic refining technique, we call this technique as electrolytic refining technique. Same technique we can use it for copper and silver and gold. Okay students, this is very important. Next, electrolysis of aqueous sulfuric acid. Aqueous sulfuric acid using inert electrodes. Using inert electrodes like platinum you can take. So they won't interact na. So if you take aqueous sulfuric acid, electrolysis of aqueous sulfuric acid, in this I am using inert electrodes or platinum electrodes. So actually you can use, here different conditions will be there. If you take sulfuric acid, many conditions will come into the picture. Here using inert electrode, what are the different possible reactions that take place at cathode? So here I am taking dilute sulfuric acid. So if you use dilute sulfuric acid, so simply we can use the term electrolysis of acidulated water. Other word you also you can, acidulated, that means acid containing water. Electrolysis of acidulated water. So in that case what happens? Water acidified with sulfuric acid contains different ions, right? So actually water, it splits into H plus plus OH minus, right? And if you take sulfuric acid, it splits into 2H plus plus SO4 2 minus. These are the different ions produced in this case. So at cathode, common ion here, no problem. Common ion you can take at cathode, 2H plus plus 2 electrons gives rise to H2, hydrogen gas is released. Exact equation if you want to write at cathode, you can write like this: water plus 2 electrons gives rise to H2 gas plus 2OH minus. This is the exact representation. Shortcut, hydrogen gas is liberated at cathode. Next at anode, if you take, so here OH minus and sulfate ions. So you know discharge potential of OH minus ions less than sulfate ions. So here the reaction takes place in this manner. So 2H2O gives rise to O2 plus 4 electrons plus 4H plus. So this is the reaction takes place. So which is liberated at anode, students? Oxygen. See, every time you have to remember what is the redox reaction takes place at anode, cathode, what is the electrolyte, and what are the possible products liberated at cathode and anode. So this is the case. Okay, students. So next, you can take some more examples if you want. So these are the important examples, students. Suppose same equation again, electrolysis using 50% sulfuric acid, and this time I am using 50% sulfuric acid. You can use lead, platinum anode. Okay, platinum anode. So what are the possible reactions if you take 50% sulfuric acid? Products will change. At anode, see here sulfuric acid means here actually H2SO4 splits into H++ HSO4 minus. If it is 50%, it splits in different manner. So at anode, what happens to HSO4 minus aqueous gives rise to, you are going to get H2S2O8 plus 2 electrons. So I am going to get this product H2S2O8. That is very, very important. Next, this is important if it is 50%. At cathode, what product you will get? So here 2H plus 2 electrons gives rise to. These are the key points. Reactions takes place at cathode and anode if you use 50% sulfuric acid. So next, electrolysis of aqueous CuCl2. So here you can take platinum anode, inert electrodes, inert. If you use these inert electrodes, so you already know CuCl2, it splits into Cu2 plus 2Cl minus. So here water is the medium, so H plus OH minus. So here in what happens, you know, discharge potentials. If you take at anode, what reaction takes place at anode? 2Cl minus gives rise to Cl2 plus 2 electrons. Chlorine gas is liberated at anode. So at cathode, if you take Cu2 plus 2 electrons gives rise to Cu. Copper is deposited at cathode. This is aqueous CuCl2. Suppose same reaction, electrolysis of aqueous CuCl2 using copper electrode. If you use copper electrodes instead of inert electrode, copper electrode I have taken, then the products will change, students. So here at anode, what happens? Cu gives rise to Cu2 plus 2 electrons because copper rod dissolves in that electrolyte. So at cathode, what reaction you will get? Cu2 plus 2 electrons gives rise to Cu. So these are the reactions, students. Thank you.